Here's a wake-up call for every man who knows he was built for more. If you're in your 20s and you're drifting, just coasting through life, waiting for someday to arrive, telling yourself that you'll get serious when the time is right, you're not just wasting time, you're actually murdering your potential. Listen up. Your 20s aren't your practice round. They're not your warm-up phase. This is the game. This is when your neural pathways are most flexible, when your testosterone is at its peak, when you have the least to lose and the most to gain. The man you'll become at 30, 35, 40, that version of yourself is being forged right now in the decisions you make today. So let me ask you, what kind of man are you building? Here's what no one tells you. Your 20s aren't the reward for surviving high school and college. They're the foundation for everything that comes after. Think of it like this. Every successful 35-year-old you admire, he didn't suddenly become disciplined at 34. He didn't magically develop his work ethic, his standards, and his character when he hit his 30s. He built that foundation in his 20s. While his peers were finding themselves through Netflix binges and weekend parties, he was finding himself through challenge, through growth, and through intentional suffering. Your habits, your standards, your identity, they don't just appear when you decide you're ready. They compound, day by day, choice by choice. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. The systems you build now will either carry you to greatness or drag you to mediocrity. You've got to choose wisely. Let me paint you a picture of what the world wants from you. They want you scrolling until 2 a.m., dopamine fried and directionless. They want you eating processed garbage that makes you sluggish and weak. And they want you addicted to pornography that rewires your brain for instant gratification. They want you cycling through meaningless hookups that leave you emotionally hollow. They want you consuming content about success instead of actually building it. This isn't an accident either. There's an entire economy built on your distraction, your weakness, your comfort. Every swipe, every click, every just this once, it's designed to keep you exactly where you are, passive, consuming, and waiting. A distracted man is a controllable man, and a comfortable man is a stagnant one. The moment you realize this, and you really understand it, everything changes, because now you see the matrix. Now you understand that your attention and your energy and your time, they're not just valuable, they're under siege. Your job isn't just to succeed, it's to resist the forces actively trying to make you fail. And you want to know the difference between the men who thrive and the ones who barely survive? The winners took massive risks in their 20s. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for guarantees. They didn't wait until they felt ready. They launched the business with no safety net. They moved to a city where opportunity lived, even if it scared them. They cut off toxic relationships, even when it meant being alone. They went all in on their vision, even when everyone called them crazy. And here's the beautiful part. When you're 23 and you lose everything, you're still 23. You have decades to rebuild, to pivot, and to try again. But when you're 35 and you've never taken a real risk, when you've played it safe your entire adult life, now you're not just behind, you're trapped by responsibilities and expectations and the weight of a life half-lived. The biggest risk is not taking any risk at all. Your 20s are your get-out-of-jail-free card. You can fail spectacularly and still win in the long run. So my advice to you is stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what if I never try in the first place? Because right now, you have something that millionaires would trade their fortune for in a second. And that is that raw, untapped energy combined with unlimited time. Your body recovers faster. Your mind learns quicker. Your spirit hasn't been beaten down by years of compromise. You don't have a mortgage weighing you down. You don't have kids depending on your stability. You don't have a reputation to protect or a lifestyle to maintain. You're dangerous right now and you don't even know it. But here's what happens as you get older. You gain wisdom, you gain resources and connections, but you lose that fire, that reckless hunger, that willingness to sleep on floors and eat ramen if it means chasing your dreams. This combination of energy and freedom that you have right now, it's not gonna come back. Ever. Once it's gone, it's gone. So what are you going to do with it is the question I want to ask you. I see these guys who spend Monday through Thursday in survival mode just counting down the hours until Friday night. Their entire week is structured around escape and around numbing and around forgetting who they are and what they're not becoming. Friday night, drunk. Saturday morning, hungover. Saturday night, repeat. Sunday, anxiety about Monday. That's not living. Sleepwalking through the most important decade of your life. Here is what winners do differently. Saturday morning at 6 or 7 a.m., they're in the gym while you're sleeping off last night's mistakes. Sunday night, they're planning, they're preparing, they're setting themselves up to dominate the week ahead. Most people use weekends to escape their lives. Champions can use them to build their lives. And your weekends are actually what reveals your character. They show what you really value when no one's watching, when there's no external pressure. So, are you using them to become who you want to be, or to forget who you currently are? Because your 20s are for discovering what you're made of. Not through comfort, not through ease, but through voluntary hardship. This is the decade to wake up at 5 a.m. when every fiber of your being just wants to stay in bed and hit snooze. Hit the gym when you're tired or stressed or unmotivated, and say no to easy pleasures that steal your focus. Do work that matters even when no one's applauding, and study skills that compound even when progress feels slow. Why put yourself through all of this? Because discipline is a muscle, and like any muscle, if you don't use it, you lose it. The 35-year-old who can't stick to a diet, he never learned discipline in his 20s. The 40-year-old who can't focus for more than 10 minutes, he trained his brain for distraction when he was young. There's a quote I like that goes, "Show me a man's habits at 25 and I'll show you his life at 45. Because discipline isn't punishment, it's freedom. The freedom to become who you're capable of being. Most guys in their 20s are playing defense. They're trying to get by, to not mess up, to maintain, but maintenance is for machines, not men. You were built for mastery. So my advice is choose one thing, one skill, one craft, one area of expertise, and become genuinely world-class at it. Not decent, not pretty good. I'm talking about exceptional. Learn sales until you can influence anyone. Learn fitness until your body becomes a weapon. Learn your craft until people pay premium for your expertise. Learn leadership until others naturally follow you. Comfort today means struggle tomorrow, whereas struggle today means freedom tomorrow. Because the man who masters his 20s doesn't just survive his 30s, he dominates them. While his peers are still figuring out the basics, he's operating at a level they can't even comprehend, which is why it is so important you become dangerously capable. Not being dangerous in a destructive way. I'm talking about being dangerously capable, the kind of man who walks into any room and immediately raises the energy, who solves problems instead of creating them, who leads by example instead of empty words, who has skills that matter and character that can't be bought. You should be thinking about your long-term goals. By 30, you want to be physically formidable. Your body should be a reflection of your discipline. You want to be mentally sharp. You should be able to think clearly under pressure. You want to be emotionally centered. You should be unmoved by other people's chaos, and financially intelligent, and understand how money works and how to make it, and be socially calibrated. You should command respect without demanding it, because this version of yourself doesn't just happen. He is forged intentionally and relentlessly, starting now. Do me a favor and show me your 5 closest friends, and I will predict your future with 90% accuracy. If they're content with mediocrity, you'll be content with mediocrity. If they make excuses, you'll make excuses, and if they blame the world for their problems, you will blame the world for your problems too. But if they're hungry, if they're building, if they're constantly pushing themselves and each other to become more, your standards are going to raise automatically. This isn't about being cruel or cutting people off for no reason. It's just about recognizing that your environment is stronger than your willpower. So seek out men who have higher standards than you do, who are working on things that matter, who challenge you to be better, and celebrate your wins without jealousy. Those are the real ones. The ones that hold you accountable when you're slipping. Because your network isn't just who you know, it's actually who you become. So here's the moment of truth. Right now, as you're watching this, you're at a crossroads. Path 1. You close this video, maybe feel motivated for a few hours, and then drift back into the same patterns, the same habits, the same excuses, and the same trajectory. And then guess what? You'll wake up at 30 wondering where'd the time go? Wondering why other guys your age seem so much further ahead. And then you have the second path. You decide that today, right now, is when everything changes. You stop negotiating with mediocrity. You stop waiting for permission. You stop making excuses, and you take the risk. You build the discipline. You master the craft. You become dangerously capable. There's a quote I like that I want to share with you that goes, "The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now." Because your 20s are not a dress rehearsal. This is not a practice round. This is your life, and it's happening right now. So I'll ask you one more time, what kind of man are you building? Because the world is watching. Your future self is counting on you, and deep down, you already know what you need to do. The real question is, are you going to do it?